what I'm going to say here have nothing to do with professionalism of any kind. Okay? I'm a forever DM. So most of my approach of this will be from the side of someone that is not playing them. And I have like once every 2, I'd say years or so, the chances of playing as a player. So yeah, I have my bias. Let's go for this. Forever DM by default. What do you mean? So yeah, like most of the time when I get to play with the classes, it's more as I can go for weird builds to try to make NPC that will be entertaining for my players or piss them. Every time I see your clip where you murdered a shiny Gebel, it makes me laugh even more now. I capture. I know. I even got one of those shiny Gebels yesterday. They look so cute as baby. And I've killed mine. It's fair, by the way. Like that is not a problem. I prefer to some point to be DM because, how to say, you are sure you're not going to be disappointed. But like I love to play as a DM. And no, I'm not sick, Jenny, but like streaming and teaching 3 to 5 hours a day plus streaming like 2 hours a day. And it took a toll on my throat. And to be able to just feel good on a normal basis, I'm taking a little bit of honey, I'm drinking a lot of water, and I'm keeping my vocal cord hot. And it helps. So yeah. You've missed the singing earlier, Jenny. It's fair. I'm not that proud of how I sing, so fair enough, huh? Hey, thanks for the lurk. Nothing, very appreciated, guys. If you don't know nothing, go drop a little bit of love toward its way. He's a young streamer. Streams in English. Got a decent energy when he does it, and I know he love all the most played game. Hey, lurk, you can't watch since you have a lot of. This is all good. It's all good. This is the end of the session for every student around Quebec. So go work like crazy. You can't use a double negation. If I want to use a double negation, I can't. I can, sorry. And there ain't no way I'm giving you the right to telling me that I can't do a double negation. Just like that. By the way, in English, it's not a rule. Like in French, we technically cannot use a double negation. We're not supposed to. But in English, you can. And this would be used to emphasize a point of view. So yeah. So it becomes like a very, very negative, even though it's a double negation. You see the beard. Did I miss something? Drink hot water with lemon and honey. This is basically what we're drinking. And what about the beard? What about the beard? What beard? Did I miss a part? About the Gebel? The Gebel had no beard. So. I caught up? Yes, okay. He turned like a dad joke alive. He sells diamond. The season 2 of the DnD series on Prime. I didn't. Beers family. Oh, okay. No, we're talking about a new Vox Machina trailer season 2. I didn't. What have we seen? We've seen something D&D related lately, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, here's my totally unprofessional tier listing of the classes. And I'm gonna classify them as how much I love to have them around my table and giving the reason for them. Oh no, wait, that would be a little too easy. That would be a little too easy. I think we'll go for 2 things. How much I love to have them around my table, or how much I love to play them as NPC or as like recurring characters. Oh, or as players, sorry. So, long story short, first one we do is about like how much I love to have them around my table. And you will see that a lot of things will go a little low on this for some peculiar reason. What is this one supposed to be, by the way? That is the Oracle, right? That is Sorcerer? Hi. Is that Sorcerer? Why is that one doubled? I get why they are doubled, by the way. I have a freaking good idea of why they are doubled. I rating for monks as NPC. When is the last time you saw me NPC a monk or play a monk? Can you do a poll to see the viewer's opinion? On what? On what? How much would you love them as your neighbor? How much would you love them as your neighbor? That's not a bad idea, actually. Forget monks exist. We all forget moms exist. Oh, it was not a monk, Thorson. He was not a monk. He had a few, he had a splash of monk. He was a sorcerer. He had a splash of monk, but he was a sorcerer, Thorson. Like a low charisma sorcerer, I agree. But he was not a monk. He was just flavored as one. At the same time, you want an... Okay. You want a bard because you would have all the best party on the side, but like, let's start with the first one. How much I love to have them around my table, and we're going to take them in the order that they come here, okay? The Technomancer. The problem I have with Technomancer is that even though those are a very versatile kind of class, everybody that freaking see a Technomancer, Artificer, thank you, Artificer, see them as a, I got my tower, it's shooting stuff and heals people, and that's pretty much all you get out of a freaking Artificer. Well, this could be probably one of the best freaking class of the game. They give you option that lets you being freaking Iron Man. They give you option that lets you being a bomb hurler, and you see them all coming with like, I got a tower, I can use it as a gun, but like on my side and I don't have to shoot. Yay! Like, I despise that. This could be so much more cooler than what people made out of him. And the other problem I have with Technomancer is the fact that they are... You need to have a player that knows what they're doing for it to be interesting. So, put me that here, because it's either players knows what he's doing, and it's going to be fun because you do not have to teach him how to play its own character, or here, because it feels like you have someone that does not know what they're doing and just have a little tower. So I'm going to put them at B. That's Barbarian for sure, right? Yeah, that's Warrior, so that's Barbarian. I don't mind having... that is a good point. Don't mind having Barbarian in my table. The same way I don't mind having Fighter. The problem I have with Barbarian and Fighter is that most players are as interesting as a freaking like red carpet that you use to like tease a bull. So I will guess that Barbarian, for me, like when I see one around my table, they are not problematic. They are not like, get out. Oh, we're going to make our own list. Or not get out. Big stick. Oh, that would be just like the fighting one. Big stick, hit that. No, that's that. We want something more thought of than this. Barbarian ends up in a list of useful yet uninteresting. I think that's going to be it. Like, it's so generic. It does one thing. It does it very well. And if you do not want to fake that you have 18 intel and play like someone that is brilliant, or 18 wisdom and play like someone that takes good decision, which we all know we are not good at that. If you don't want to go full grog, don't take Barbarian. Here, So like basically this is a well, I put the 0. Good job, Calipze. So which is, it's gonna really depend on who's speaking it. Most of the time. Neat. And we have a top list of, yeah. That's it. So that's going to be our first one. Fun to play for 10. Exactly. That's the problem I have with the Grog Syndrome. Barbarian. As a player, you have so much fun the first few times because you're like, I can take my brain juice. It's all good. For the whole thing, I'm not thinking. And when there's danger, if the danger does not die when I hit on it, it's because I didn't hit hard enough. I'm going to do it again. Good. I have no problem with that kind of character. The problem is that it's not interesting. As a DM, when you try to develop their character, you kind of know where they're going. And if you want to make a barbarian functional, like interesting in a game, you have to think about their redeeming quality, which can be as generic as just saying, he's really not taking it when its friends are getting hurt or when its friends are being threatened. He cannot accept, like, you set him some, like, let's say higher values that you're like, for him, they are the untouchable. And at the very least, you get something where they have a personality out of, like, rage, ouch, you know? So, Barbarian can be interesting, but it's hard for them to become interesting. You need to have a good player. Bard, while also being one of the most versatile and most OP class of the freaking game, I will put, like, most of the time neat. When I see people coming with Bard ideas, the worst they come up with is like, yeah, so my character is very charismatic. And he loves to try to make babies to dragon. Like, this is the worst thing you're gonna get. So at least they're trying. The problem is, like, when you get a player that is having -4 on its real life charisma, and he tries to play a bard. Like, I don't hate you. The problem is basically, though, that every time there is a social encounter and you're supposed to be the one shining, you're like, I'm rolling persuasion. Yeah, but what do you say to him? I'm rolling persuasion. Is he persuaded? Like, if you can't make a full sentence, you're going to have a hard time persuading characters. I let my warrior sometimes being persuasive with words without rolling for dice. Because if you tell to my NPC something he wants to hear or something he wants to believe, why the fudge would I not be, like, inclined toward being okay with that? So if you're a bard that is able to interact with people and have even the most basic of ability to what do we say that? Improvise. Be there. What is the concept? What class do I prefer to see at my table? That's it. Like, that's it, money man. So we're listing, like, what class in DnD I'm the most down to get at my table. This is, I think, what is this one? Is that Ranger? No, that's Ranger. Is this Ranger? No, this is Ranger. That is Druid. What is this? Blood Hunter. Blood Hunter. This is, like, not even a real class. Sorry for the people that love Critical Role. This is a class. Yeah, it became a real class, but it's a class that has been made by, like, the people that are making Critical Role. And how to say? I feel like Blood Hunter, if you come up with a good background, they're going to be in the top of so-so. It's just, it is a revamped version of the Witcher. So either bottom most of the time neat or top so-so. So I'll put it in top so-so for now. This is clearly cleric. How much do I love to have them at my table? I'll say most of the time neat, but I'll explain, okay? Clerics with Bard are no doubt the best freaking class on their power, on the power curve of the whole game, okay? They are to some point breaking the game. You could make a party solely made of cleric or a party solely made of bards, and they would be able to go and beat most other, well, to outshine most other party that would be more like a well-based, like more grouply thought of. So I love cleric. The thing that is risky about cleric is that they are so strong. Bard have weaknesses. Clerics, you can have a cleric being more tanky than most warrior, being able to cast healing spells very efficiently, being able to have something fight for them based on their wisdom. Like, they honestly break your game. Your cleric weakness was water. Yeah, exactly. Thorson played a cleric, and by level 9 is AC, and I did not. Like, I was very cheap on the magical item, okay? By level 9, I think he had something like 24 AC. He was, every time an enemy had anything in metal on him, he was like, yeah, you're burning now. Very high wisdom save, decent intel save, very high constitution save. Like, what's the weakness of that little potato? You dunk him in water. That's the only thing. And even then, I think he could probably have a spell to be like, yeah, all good, I got a bubble. He would not care about most problems. He did not have a Mariner's armor, though. Exactly. It's not fun when you have to heal your friends. Oh, you know, like when the bad part is like, you gotta heal your allies. But if everyone's a cleric, you don't. So, you waste resources. Yeah. It's basically that stupid. So, starting at level 9, cleric kind of break my fun. And that's kind of true with a lot of caster to some point. How to say? I'm someone that really loves to DM from level 1 to 9. At 9 to 14, like, it's still passable, but the way you're gonna have to grind slowly your players does not feel as nice. And eventually, there's a point in the game where they can wish something out of existence. So, yeah. Imagine a cleric weakness water, but needs to use holy water. He didn't. It was like, he can throw it. It's like a big pond of water was his weakness. Imagine a cleric. Well, imagine you have a character like that. You love her so much. Tell me everything. Oh, tell me everything. Mine is a pigeon person with a bagpipe. That's a bard. It's a freaking bard. Okay, you have an idea for a bard who is quite literally arrow ace. Good. Low intel, low whiz, just dumb, not understanding anything about any of that. Technically, it does not stop you from being charismatic. It just means that your charisma is not going to try to be used on hitting on people. Oh, fair enough. Did you make D&D game online? Do you make D&D game online? Not yet. Does that answer the question? We're gonna, though, later on during the day, we will be making some community world building. We made a map on Wednesday, and I'm gonna basically fill that map up with some stuff with you and explain you how I would run a game based on that. And I'm a lazy DM, so I will not tell you like what are the stats of everything. This is not how the map and the thing are going to be planned. I'm going to do it in another way. Okay? So, here. Druid. I will put most of the time neat. Okay, Druid, the thing is, maybe high so-so. I'll explain, okay? Druids are extremely self-sufficient. The same, like, don't classify them as OP, as Bard, or Cleric, because Bard and Cleric are OP, and they also are able to do a multitude of things that are different. Druid have two things they do well: metamorphosis and support. So they are characters that will be able to self-sustain themselves in most situations. Like, try to bring a Druid in a situation where he will not be able to survive, good freaking luck. He can cast berries, survive for days, even under a cave, in a very cold climate, like, he don't care. But the main reason why I do not place them in is that if you bring them into any other environment where sustainability is not the challenge, they are average at everything. They sustain like crazy. For the rest, they're just kind of plain. And most players I've seen play Druid are like, yeah, my character was an hermit. He came out of the wood because he thought that the human were taking a little bit too much space. And now he's like, want to become an adventurer to be able to just like keep those human away from nature. You know, like, you're very, very freaking generic. True. Druids are fun. You want to learn to play and how I first build a character, because I have a general idea, but I put it together and how it works, and I even know the basis. I don't even know the basis. Basically, when people say that, Jenny, the recommendation I'm going to do, like, you're going to check the bottom part of that list. Those are going to be probably the easiest thing to play because they are not extremely complicated. Have a good day, Simon. Thanks a lot for having spent a little bit of it with us. Next, we have the Warrior. The Warrior is going to go just on the side of that wonderful little Barbarian, even a little before the Barbarian, and I'll explain. I think there's a little bit more range of character development in a Warrior to some point. Fighter, the Warrior guy. So, the Fighter, the problem I have with them is basically that, once again, there's a scheme that makes a character become a fighter that is very bland. You can have a good player play a warrior, but like a fighter, but that same player could play any other classes and be way more interesting around your table. The fighter, though, the easiest class to play in the game. If you want to start the game, you do not know where you're going, you don't want to have complication with spells or anything, and you just want to know like how to hit good with that big sword. Fighter. No freaking doubt. Easy to understand, easy to play with, easy to progress with. Overall fun. But for the player. For the DM, I like to have some in my team, in my party. But like, this is what I will recommend all the newbie to pretty much take unless they are willing to learn a bit or to read a bit before that. Because your idea needs to be a bard. But to talk your way out, you're good at that. If you do not know how to talk your way out of shit and you want to play a bard, you're going to be like the low bard. Like the bard that is boring to hear and I will be like, I'm just persuading him to go out of something. Here. You're going to bed. Good night. Your throat is unhappy and cough are getting nasty. Good sleep, money. I hope you're going absolutely better very fast. If we don't see each other before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you too, money. So, next will be Monk. Monk have a flavor. Here's the thing. Monk have a flavor. The problem is that every time a monk tried to do something that is more melee-oriented, out of grappling, a fighter or barbarian could hold that role better. Okay? And it's gonna, like, yeah. There's some, I've seen some people, okay, let's put it here. There will be no get out. let's put it here. And the reason is quite simple. Like, exactly, they are like trying to be at that sweet position in between rogue and fighters, but end up being like a poor version of both. So decent AC, decent damage, and like when you progress through the game, you understand that like your monk is always a little behind the group. At same level, monks are always like the lagging tail of the Honix, you know? Are always a little behind, and you're like, if I give you something, you might become a little too strong. But if I don't give you something, I feel sad when even with a full flurry of blow, we have the fighter on your side that is just like, yeah, my hit, it's hard. You know? Like, I feel like you're missing out on something when you decide to play a monk. It is like angel on shoulder. I mean, painful to balance. I'll put Paladin in the bottom part of so-so because Paladin are barely better than like Barbarian or Warrior, but there are some lever that you can use to like trigger them. They're Barbarian. You need to have a player that thinks about what are its value or anything before they play to make it interesting. The Paladin, they have inherently in how their character is built some values that they have to set as their higher one, or they might lose their power. So it kind of forces a new character that wants to dabble a little bit in holy magic, but that still wants to be like the guy with the big sword hitting like a freaking truck. It's every never, like the crit-based guy. They still force them into some sort of RP. The thing I don't, and they are team-oriented as well, the thing I don't like about Paladin is that too often we're going to have the guy that is like the stick in a bum Paladin, okay? Like, I'm not doing this because like this is not righteous. I'm not even letting my teeth doing this because this is not righteous. Dude, we have a story, and what you're doing here is breaking the fun of two of the other player. Could you just, for a single moment, take your stick and go in that corner with it? Do whatever you need with your stick and let the other have fun. That could be super interesting. So, if you're able to get out of that situation, I'm fine. I'm very fine with that. If you are that Paladin and you're starting to break the fun of the others because this is not rightful, thank you to compare that to a podcast, Faris. Man, when I hear podcast, I hear like it's going to be boring, but like mildly interesting. Thanks. Fits. That fits. We have the Ranger. I'm not sure if I put it behind Monk or before. So, here's the thing. You probably, hey, look, a dragon, and tell the other guy, do it. Here's the thing. Ah, man, before or after the Monk? The Ranger kind of want to be something. The Ranger is a decent splash for some stuff as well. But sadly, even with the best one, even like with something like a Gloomstalker, the guy is just there to do damage. And that's it. He does not got the charisma to really talk. He's often more into the, oh, there is an animal. Let me talk to him and be friend with him. Oh, there's another bear. Let me go talk with the bear. And getting totally mold. What he would do close range with two swords. Sorry, not a cleric. A fighter would do better. When you try to build him as an archer, a fighter will do better. Like, fighters makes better archer than ranger for some reason. When you're trying to make him there is like two subclasses of ranger that are mildly interesting and not even for me. So like When a player shows up with that, if he knows how to play it, knows how to be interesting with it, that's fine. What is not true, Thorson? The fact that a warrior would make a better archer than a ranger, I swear it is. I'm going to find you back the numbers. Ranger is based on DPS. That's basically like what it's supposed to do. The versatility and preferred enemy of ranger makes them different. Ooh. So you're telling me that also, well, having a preferred enemy and being versatile, aren't those two like saying the opposite thing? So number wise, a ranger warrior out damage a ranger, a ranged range fighter out damage a ranger mid build and late build. It's 2 points. So yeah, like I would honestly go more for a fighter than a ranger for anything that would be like fighting based. And even in range, the only thing that they do better, they can have an animal that fights for them. Woo! Woo! Magics make them cool. At level 3, they will be able to like do nothing. At level 4, they will be able to say like, this guy, I'm gonna hit him hard. That's it. Like, that does not make them better. They don't have a lot of spell per day. This is a very limited class. The only thing that saves them, if you really prefer to play through your pets, go for this. Like, you're gonna have a pet. But if you want to like play for a pet that is the main thing in your thing, play Druid. You'll be the pet. Can they tame a dragon? I don't think they can because it is not a beast. Ranger are made to be more stealthy and dexterous. So even on that, they will be outshined by Sir Rogue here. Sir Rogue that I will put here. Because like, Rogue will probably... Oh, man. I will put here, but they are pretty equal to Paladin to me. How dare you? Of how people are offended by that. When I have a Rogue around my table, the problem is that most of the time they do not really want to learn how to play the game. That's what happened around my table, and I'm playing with a lot of newer player. I'm teaching DnD to people that are just like new to the thing. My Rogue are often just taking this because they want to be an assassin. They want to do a lot of damage in a very short period, but they don't even want to learn how the freaking things that gives them those bonus damage works. So, yeah. They are better stealth guy than them. They are better at stealth. Their strength is basically stealth. Other people can try to emulate them. What they do very good. I haven't seen yet a player trying to play a rogue and be interesting RP-wise about it. Usually it's the guy that goes and like gets its end dirty. But also, since they don't have the charisma, they often like go for this without planning to really RP, that they are supposed to be the like the sword of the group, but like the knight sword of the group. So it's personal, but most of the people I've seen run this class were often just deciding to be background character to a story where they could have had a lot more place. Like RP with your rogue character. On which table? On which table, Joey? It's like there's a lot of people that just do not even try to actually role play their rogue. You did it with a happy backstory. Aww. With who do you do that, Joey? Like how Vendura feels like, I'm offended. We have that sorcerer. That's sorcerer. Sorcerer are super versatile. I will place them there instead of yeah. Because there maybe I will place on top of most of the time neat, because they come with good story most of the time. There's a reason why they learn their power. The only thing that pisses me off about like the backstory that people write for sorcerer is that they often killed everything around them when they were young, so that you don't have any like lever to play with during the game, and makes it more personal for the player. So out of that note, I think most of the time people that pick sorcerers make some neat result. The problem I have is that they don't try hard. Disgruntled family member often that, or either they kill them all. Like, yeah, I've burned my house when I was a kid, and when I came out of my mom, like wild magic happened and my mom disappeared into a sheep. Like, yeah, you know. So could do better. Hey, excellent, it's going absolutely well. Wonderful. Mage, no, wizard. I will not put wizard as high as people expect me to put wizard. While versatile, I feel like most people try to play wizard. The best I've seen are like mad scientists. Most of the time, they run wizard as just a power hungry character that just wants, I will not place them. The list that already existed. So most of the time, the problem I have with wizard is that they are either power hungry character that just want to get spell, and let's find some book. Yeah, you get into, let's find some book. Oh, we just killed that caster. Can I get its book? Like, it's always focused on just like getting new spell. And I get it. It's a big part of the class to have access to all the spells they can have access to. But out of that, out of like encouraging people to be like power hungry, I feel like there's a part of the character that is missing to me to make a good story. It's possible to make it work. And I swear, a good role player will be able to run you a wonderful mad scientist kind of feel to it. Here you go. The story here is a little better. Is a little better. Isn't also because it could be higher or lower depending on who plays. So I feel like it's a little empty. And I have to go eat, go DnD and eat. Go plow some snow and eat. It'll probably come minimum after like 2 hours or so. Yeah, I will have to like plow the snow after the stream for sure. Like it's falling like crazy outside. We have to end with Warlock. Okay, as a DM, I think I'll put Warlock in the high most of the time neat. But I'll explain. Warlock is the kind of player, and that's going to also modify this for that reason. If you have good role player playing a Warlock, you can hide a second story under your main story with a Warlock in the game. Same thing with a Cleric. There is a huge roleplay opportunity running around having a Patreon or running around having a deity. I'll even move you up for this reason. Around having those higher purpose for your character that even the player does not always get at the start of a campaign. So for that reason, I will pop it a little higher, because if you have a Warlock and a Cleric in the same group, you have to think of a reason that both of them would be working together to reach a goal. How is the goal good for both of their deity? Good for both of what they want to. Right. And after that, also, you have to... You will probably have some good RP situation if your players are good at role-playing, about them trying to convince each other that, like, the good god is theirs. Or the good thing to pray is the one that, like, they believe in. And I feel like there is a lot of potential RP-wise that could be super interesting about this. But sadly... yeah. That's it. And because we need someone in the Get Out, that's going to be Monk. If I have to kick one thing out, okay? That's going to be Monk. Or Ranger. But Monk. Ranger do what they do decently. Like other classes do what they do better. But Monk, everything that a monk do, there's another class doing it better, doing it more solidly, and that have a more interesting way of being role played on the table. They're still fun to play. Just accept when you play a monk that you are going to be from level 1 to 17 weaker than everything else in your group. Like, that's it. But as a DM, I don't mind having a monk. I said get out, but like, I don't mind having a monk. But I'll just be there and be, okay, so you want to hit often? Why not ranger? You want to attack and do magic? There was a class for that, right? There was a class for that. Is there a Chantelam, but like in English? Spellblade. Why not a Spellblade? Like you want to hit and do like magic thing? Why not Spellblade? I don't say it's impossible to build them to be playable. I just feel like, yeah, X-Blade Warlock actually would do better for this. They are playable. They just have mechanically everything like under the other classes that can do what they do better. So I have a very hard time placing him anywhere higher than this. And then I'll remix it and we'll go for a very, very much like faster explanation for the second one. You'll see, we're not talking something very complicated here. We are just putting the same things in another order. What are the classes in the neat one? Illuminati, Redneck, Emma Quebec, and URSS. What? Kim? We'll explain. What the hell, my wife? Okay, this is Warlock. That was Druid. This is Cleric, and this is, what was the last one? In the neat. Sorcerer. Sorcerer wife. Let's give him a class on, let's give her a class on symbolism. Be a good time for that. So let's go for a quick run here of like what I like to play as a player or as an NPC. And most of the time the NPC will be like, yeah, we keep yeah. I love yeah. Here. Kinda yeah. Here. Once in a while. Why am I doing this to myself? That's going to be the last one, I think. I need... When I have to. I think that's going to be it. This is our list. let's at least put the capitals so that it looks a little less poor. Here. Here. Like that. And another capital here. And here. Those are small fix. So let's go for a quicker run here. Sorcerer. If I'm not playing a freaking bard or a warlock, I'm playing a sorcerer. That's not even a question. Like, sadly, I am very loud. I'm talking a lot. I'm very sorry for everyone that had me as a player around the table. I think when I'm not a DM, I must still talk like in between 20 and 30% of the time. So, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking a lot. I'm taking charisma-based character to have the excuse of being like, yeah, but that's what my character does. That's all my player do when I'm pissed. Honestly, Jenny, you would probably be disappointed. I can play very, very horrifically hurtful characters. So depending on how it would go, if both our character would be fine together, good. But I would like, if I play someone that is like sometime hurtful, I will probably like let people know ahead of time, but I'll try to avoid going for that at a certain point. Very unpleasant. Thank you, Thorson. Thorson's my brother. He must know, right? That is the worst appel à l'autorité that I've done this year. Thank you. So, here. Next. Bard, like, don't even ask. Just act. Bard is stuff. Just very much love Bard. I think I would love... Okay, here's the thing. I will put Warlock in between those two. I've never had a DM that was down for me to play a Warlock. I'll explain. The few times I had the chance, and I'm not playing that as an NPC in my game, the few times I had the chance to play a Warlock, I had some DM that were like, okay, but like, don't expect having any RP or anything going with that. So, yeah, it's. That's fine then, Jenny. Be able to place a few. I agree. When I was a cashier, I had in a grocery, I had a good average of like scanning item and going very quick when I was working. But my boss me reproché in English. Like, used to tell me to stop talking with client, stop telling hi to client, asking them how they're going, like having a little chit chat while you pass their item very quickly. She was like, yeah, but you're wasting time that you could spend like having even better rate. And I was like, I'm paid by the hour. Like, do you really expect me to like stop doing the only thing that makes this job make sense? Talking with clients? Are you really expecting me to stop? So yeah, that's it. So next, Barbarian as a NPC. I don't like playing the Barbarian of the group. As an NPC, I like it once in a while. It's, you go, you dumb down all the registry of the word that you're saying, and you have very, very like well-lined project. What I'm reproaching to my character, my player, when they are Barbarian, you can do this when you're playing it as an NPC. It's for a short term. Because you talk too much and eat avocado toast. Yep, exactly. That's why I'm not a millionaire. For sure. How do you want to make regular customer without a chit chat? I have no idea. I would probably have been like more well received in a bar than I would have in a artificer. Most of the time, yeah, I really love to have a few, but like as a mad scientist kind of character, artificer, I'm totally into playing them in the game. Yeah, as a therapist in the bartender, yeah, bartender, that's it. Man, Ranger are often like background NPC, and I will only have to really play them for a short period. Like early levels makes sense for my player to encounter, but for now, I never bring a high level ranger into one of the game as an NPC to like bring them to a quest or anything. Though I think the highest I've imagined a ranger that I've played for my player was like level 3 or 4. Past that, I feel like there's higher purpose that you can bring to your character with that. Warrior, when I have to, same thing. Warrior are like your run-of-the-mill guard of the city, or the more boring ass character, you know? They are cool to play at all levels. I don't like them. I don't. The only reason I'm not back in my old bar is because I will finish too late to wake up for the kids. That makes a lot of sense. That is senseful. I just don't like it. Everything that they do, like even the stealth approach, I would rather go play a rogue or a bard than this. So yeah, like they will play my hunters as NPC, but I will not, as a player, I will not play ranger. I believe it's possible to have fun playing rangers. I believe that the one that works with poison, fudge, like, what's his name? The one that works with poison and the other one that is the Artisan Walker can be played to become something interesting to your group, but I don't like to play them personally. Cleric. As an NPC and as a player, I would like to be able to play some clerics. Sadly, the heal butt role is often taken by someone else, and if I pick a cleric on the side of a heal butt cleric, they will feel like I'm trying to steal their job. So when I see that, I often like go for something I would rather play more than this, but I would not mind being in a game and play the cleric. I would put a twist onto it. I would try to find some good role play reason why I heal people, or why I decide to be a little like rougher on some others. Like I'd like to play cleric eventually, and as a NPC, I mean, this is an easy quest giver. This is often the kind of thing that you got to play when you have your own cleric in your party that is looking for something to do. Oh yeah, I love them. Rogues. Once in a while, when you have to like push your character more than barbarian, when you have to push your character toward a darker alley, when you have to like encourage them to do something that is more morally gray, sometimes for good reason, sometimes for bad, because like you can have a rogue that do the worst for the greater good, or another rogue that tried to do the good but for the worst reason, like an anti-villain or an anti-hero. I'd go rogue. That makes it, that can do for a good story, good compelling story if you write them well. At some point you'll write some one shot. Okay, for that, like how long have you said that to yourself? Let's be honest, Thorson, you've seen me. I would feel too much out of my, how can we call that, my element. Like I would not feel enough in my comfort zone, so to play monk. So as a player, I would not do that to myself. As a NPC for my players, once in a while, for good reasons, like you get into a dojo or anything. But out of this, I would strongly avoid going for them. You mentioned a one shot. Ah, because you want me to play the thing I hate the most. Right. Blood thingy, I would have to read on them. I'm pretty sure there is a way to play them and make something interesting, compelling story-wise for my player. And I would probably place that thing in between like level 3 and 6 as a like a quest giving NPC. There's something to do here that could be interesting for them. A wizard. As a bad guy, honestly, like in a game, even if we have no intel player and I'm the filler player, because that's the role I often like, because all of these here, I'm willing to play for a little while. Those at the top, I'm willing to play anytime. All of these here, what I'm doing is that I often let my group pick the classes they want to go for, the role they want to hold into the game. And I'm going to try to find something that's going to be complementary to what my group already have. Yeah, trying to clean your bay window, but your dog fall asleep on your lap. Thank you. What the hell? How can you clean a bay window with your dog sleeping on your lap? And you're trying to find the motivation for it, but the dog is there. I often take the cat off my wife when she goes for things like that. Druid. As I said earlier, if you have to play a game with only 2 players, you have to bring sustainability. You know you're going to go in an environment that is harsh. I'll put it in the top of the once in a while. Because I love Druid. As a class, as a concept, if I had to play solo, I had to play as a group of 2, I would probably go for a Druid. You do whatever you need to do a little and kind of good, like way better than a Ranger could ever do. The problem is, I feel like it's a bit of a role play wise weak class. There's potential. It's not as good as I want it to happen. It's a 7-week puppy and I don't have the ability to move her. She's so cute. Oh, just imagine her at 3 years old and then move her. When like she's dripping everywhere. In 2-hand with this, we have the Paladin. What pisses me off about the Paladin? The class has everything for me to love it. Everything. It's charisma based. It's constitution based, so it's tanky and charismatic. It can hit decently in the front. It is not a full caster. It is barely a half caster. The simple fact that this is everything that would feel good for me to play is fine. The thing that makes me like run away from the Paladin is the stick in the bum kind of way of like thinking the Paladin should be. Sometimes you will meet a DM that expects you to play the normal, you got your ticket, Mario, normal stick in the bum Paladin. And just for that, like when you're moving somewhere else away from this, he's like not happy with this. He's punishing for this. While a Paladin could be so much more complex than just being a stick in a bum, I pray to God and I'm hitting hard with my sword kind of character. For that reason, I'll put the Paladin in the bottom of the mostly yeah. Because I feel like I would probably love to play this guy a little more than the Druid. But I have bad memories of me playing a Paladin in a game where I was stuck into a role of you gotta be like always under that God's control and everything, and I despised it. The fact that not having option was actually considered to be an option. Exactly, Jenny. If you write exclamation mark ticket, you get a ticket. Later on, we will do a raffle with that. Yeah, that's my POV on this. Those are pretty much the classes I would play without batting an eye. If you need a charisma-based caster, I'm into it. I could even frontline with that boy here. If you need anything else that like the group already got way too much charisma, these are probably the 2 I would go into because I'm extremely interested in like maybe NPCing or role-playing the armor version of the Artificer, which I believe is so underplayed in comparison to the 2 others that are like mathematically stronger. God, there's something into it. Mario man, thanks a lot for the lurk. Extremely appreciated. And good night, my dear. Where you are at the moment, well, it's getting late.